Hello everybody and welcome back to my learning space. So as you've seen by the title, I'm going to be talking about neo soul piano playing, or I guess you could say kind of like a modern-esque jazz playing. And I'm going to share with you some concepts and ideas that have helped me and be able to approach this kind of playing to get that sound that I'm looking for. And these ideas are not necessarily going to be theoretically correct. But then again, even the style does not have complete harmonic ties, but they are informed by existing harmony. Some of them break rules. These are kind of tricks and ways of approaching this kind of style to get the desired sound that have helped me, and I think can definitely help you as well. So let's get straight into the video. The fundamental scale that we are going to be dealing with, and that is fundamental to Western harmony in general, is the major scale. And in the major scale we find different quality chords, and the main three functions that we find are tonic related chords, subdominant related chords, and dominant related chords. I'm going to be working in the key of F. Okay, and here we have chord 1, which is obviously a tonic chord. But when you look at chord 6, this is also a tonic related chord. And when we look at chord 3, this is a tonic related chord as well. These are chords that don't have the most amount of tension and are probably chords that have the most color in them. Now let's look at subdominant quality chords. This would be chord 4. Okay. This is what we would call a plagal cadence, 4-1. The pull, definitely got more tension in it. Or for instance, 2-1. So chord 2 is another subdominant chord. And now let's look at dominant chords. Here we have the strongest amount of pull toward a resolving point. Another dominant functioning chord is chord 7. What I have noticed about neo soul progression or more modern-esque playing is the tensions are not always diatonic to the home key. Like for instance, you'll find something like, right, this B is not diatonic. Obviously, it's more like a Lydian sound. And one could analyze it and say, it's a borrowed chord. But to me, it's A minor, but it's breaking a rule. That's something to bear in mind. These are the kinds of things that you're going to be adding to achieve this kind of a sound. The importance of half diminished. Half diminished, I've realized, is really important and used a lot in the style of playing. The half diminished is pertinent because it is the derivative of a minor chord. So for instance, if I've got chord 3, which is A minor, this would be F sharp half diminished, right? It's just A minor with 6 in the bass. What other minor chord do we have in the scale? D minor. That's the same as B half diminished. What other minor chord? Well, we've got E half diminished, which is chord 7 and is the derivative of G minor. Else we would have had G minor 6. Okay. Now already that gives you another sound. And when I'm thinking of it, I'm analyzing these chords as part of the scale that we're in. So if I've got something that's on D minor, I'm still thinking this B as a tonic relation chord, If I have chord 3, I'm still thinking that as chord 3 tonic related chord. Although, when you have an F sharp half diminished, one is not really thinking that, wow, that's the tonic in the key of F. But when you are bearing in mind what I told you in the beginning, you can sort of understand what I'm trying to get to. And the reason you would want to view it like that is because now this is giving you more options to be able to use when you are combining these chord progressions. Now, voicings that are prominent in the style, there are three main ones. I would say cluster chords, open style chords with close position 5 in your right hand, and root position voicings with extensions. So the first one is cluster chords. So I'm going to play chord 2, you know, with this kind of cluster here, or open style voicings like this for half diminished. You would kind of do a 3 and a 3 on top, with a closed 5 here. Very typical of the style, I think. Or of a pure minor chord would have on the 5. Over a major, I would say. Closed 5 on the 5 of the chord as well. Over chord 5, that would just kind of like be a sus, which is still G minor. On the 3 or on the 7 can work too. On the 7. It's a pretty cool sound. Now what you want to do is you want to put this all together. The reason why I talked about function at the beginning is because when you're thinking of a progression, you want to think maybe cadential points, points of tension and release. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a kind of a game where I'm going to say, let's try to do subdominant to 1, or actually let me call it subdominant to tonic, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a subdominant related chord, it doesn't have to be chord 4, and I'm going to take a tonic related chord, it doesn't have to be chord 1. So we're going to mix and match them and see all the colors and textures that we can come up with. So I'm going to start off by doing, so I said subdominant to 1, I'm going to start off by doing 4 to 1, but now I could do G minor instead for the subdominant, and I could do chord 6 instead. But now where it can be interesting is if I say, you know, this G minor, let's go to chord 3 for the tonic related. So now I end up having, now going way back to the beginning of the video about tensions that are not related to the key. What if I take this E half diminished and I turn it into a natural E minor chord? So I would have, that's literally still subdominant to tonic. What if I do something like dominant to subdominant to tonic relation? Let's keep the same thing, but we'll change the chords up. Dominant, subdominant to tonic. Dominant, I will say chord 7, but again here I'm going to change it. I'm going to add a natural 9. So this is going to be functioning as my dominant chord. Let's keep the same thing. Dominant, subdominant, tonic. Subdominant, tonic. So here notice the B, I also changed to a natural B minor as opposed to having that half diminished there, which gives it a, the word is fresh. Now what I want to attempt to do is to take a pre-existing melody, a song, and try to reharmonize it. So I'm just going to use the tune Afro Blue in the key of F. you.